Meet two beluga whales with something to smile about. The inquisitive, playful, and sometimes mischievous little grey. And her lifelong friend, the shyer and quieter little white. This highly intelligent duo has been performing to packed houses of excited fans for almost a decade. But that's about to end. This show is closing. In a few days' time, Little White and Little Grey start their journey to freedom.
That's it, keep going.
In a groundbreaking project, they will be moved.
Let's just start pushing her. Start pushing her, guys.
From captivity in China on an epic 30-hour, 6,000-mile journey. By air, land, and sea, to the world's first beluga whale sanctuary in Iceland.
We're their guardians now for the next 30, 40 years, and we've got to do what's right by them.
It's one of the most complex animal relocations ever.
Everyone out, everyone out. Very good, okay. Just hold it.
Fraught with difficulty.
No! Listen to me now! Listen to me now!
And danger.
If you let her go, it's going to be harder the second time.
If it succeeds, it could change the future for all the world's captive whales. But for Little White and Little Grey, this journey turns into an epic marathon. What's meant to happen over a few months ends up taking almost 2 years. The great whale rescue of Little White and Little Grey starts in a very unusual place. Shanghai, one of China's largest cities. With a population bigger than New York, London, Paris and Sydney all added together. The city's ancient love affair with the sea is more than 6,000 years old. Its world-famous waterfront is a huge part of Shanghai's history and character today. The Bund, as it's called, is lined with an astonishing mix of colonial-era buildings and modern architecture. In the heart of the city lies Changfeng Park, a place to relax and escape the fast pace of urban life. Little White and Little Grey are the centerpiece of a hugely popular aquarium in the park. They've lived here for more than 8 years, entertaining thousands of fans every year with several shows a day. Their showbiz life is pretty much all they've ever known. Trained to entertain. this is history. In a few weeks' time, if all goes well, Little White and Little Grey will become the first beluga whales in history to be rescued from captivity. Their new owners, Merlin Entertainments, have a different view of performing whales, believing they're far too intelligent and sociable to be held in captivity.
We don't believe that we can actually give these animals the full welfare requirements that they need in these facilities. So if you just imagine what will be going on when they eventually get into the sea, the whole experience for the animals would be so much more enriching, so much more natural. So for me, that's the right way forward.
Like dolphins and killer whales, belugas are easy to train.
Okay.
There are thought to be more than 300 of them in captivity. But now, in a world first, Little White and Little Grey are about to travel from China to Iceland to live the rest of their lives in the only beluga whale sanctuary ever built. It's a massive undertaking. 2 one-ton whales traveling 6,000 miles by land, air, and sea to freedom. But if it's successful, Little White and Little Grey's epic voyage could change the lives of all captive whales. Little White and Little Grey were captured when they were about 2 years old. They've lived with humans ever since. They're now about 12 and could live to 50. This pool and their trainers are all they've got, for now. Both of them are very well loved, and their keepers know each of their characters well.
小灰的性格呢是非常非常开朗的，他很喜欢和人一起去交流、去沟通。最明显的就是只要有人走到他的身边，他就会用自己的叫声也好，用自己的身体的移动也好，来吸引人家的大家的注意力，而且在整个和他一起互动的过程中，他是非常非常积极的。
小白非常漂亮，然后但是她也非常聪明，但性格的话就有点敏感，然后对新的事物接受能力啊，一开始会不是特别大，但是她如果熟悉之后，就会非常的放得开。
The complicated journey they're about to go on is going to be particularly hard for Little White.
一个是旅途的过程，还有就是他们刚刚就是被运到这个运输箱中间的这个过程，然后是比较担心的，因为他们基本上没有经历过这样的事情。
The bonds are strong. So much so, the care team are going with them to help settle them into their new home in Iceland.
白鲸刚来的时候呢，它真的很小很小，那么也是我们大家一起慢慢把它养大的。我们可以看得出，我们从它体型很小的时候把它养到现在那么胖，就跟我们自己如果有孩子一样，就跟把它从一个婴儿养到成人一样。就好比我们的孩子要去往一个更好的地方去生活，那么我们也期盼作为一个家长能够陪伴着他们，去适应这样一个新的环境。
Before they can start the journey, Little White and Little Grey have to pass the physical.
小慧，我们晚点。
The specialist vets responsible for their health rely heavily on the trainers' close relationships.
These gentlemen are really good trainers. They know what they're doing. The relationship that Iker and Nor have with the whales is unique.
On the day, it will be the vets who call the shots.
It's first and foremost health and safety for the animals and for us, of course.
So far, Tom's happy. Things are going to plan.
They're going to have to acclimate to a colder temperature. And one of the ways of doing that is make them nice and fat. And right now they are big and robust. Some of the biggest beluga whales I've seen.
Their new home closely resembles the wild sea they came from nearly 10 years ago. Belugas live in the icy waters of the Arctic. They form social groups around 10 individuals called pods. And sometimes several pods come together to form larger groups. They look a bit like dolphins, but much bigger and hugely powerful. They're incredibly social animals, almost constantly talking to each other. Taking Little White and Little Grey back to the wild is hugely challenging, but worth it.
It's a vision that we've been long waiting, long pushing for, long striving for, and we're just days away.
It's now just 5 days to liftoff. When the team attempt to airlift the 2 whales from captivity in China to freedom in Iceland. Masterminding this massive international rescue with Merlin Entertainments is the Sea Life Trust and Whale and Dolphin Conservation. It's taken 8 years, millions of dollars, and more than 100 people across 6 countries to get to this point.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning, Shanghai, Reykjavik, and Jaime. Just to give you a flavour, really, this is just to put it in context. We are now sitting around this table for the last time before we move Little Grey and Little White from Shanghai to the Western Isles.
The ambition is to bring many more captive whales to Iceland.
So the bay has capacity for more belugas, and this is where our expert partner, WDC, come in. They're supporting us on the fundraising. We're also working with them to start to look to identify whether there are other belugas currently in aquariums who might be able to come.
Little White and Little Grey have been in captivity for too long to be released into the open ocean. A huge wild sanctuary in Iceland is the next best thing.
They'll be going from this facility into the sea eventually, and they'll see kelp, they'll see starfish, they'll see sea urchins, things they haven't seen for such a long time.
The plan to get them there has been mapped out and practiced over and over again. The first step was to make 2 specially designed harnesses, beluga-sized hammocks to wrap around each whale. Little White and Little Grey will be carefully lifted out through a window before being lowered into specially made transportation tanks full of ice-cold water, loaded onto a truck, driven out of the park, taken across Shanghai, one of the busiest cities in the world, to get to one of the busiest airports. Then they'll be loaded onto a cargo plane that's come from Europe especially for them and flown to Reykjavik in Iceland. Once there, the boxes will be refilled with clean water, and Little White and Little Grey will be driven across Iceland. get onto a ferry that takes them to a small island where only 4,000 people live. Here, in a purpose-built new facility, they'll be lifted out of their boxes and into a brand new holding pool, made just for them. And the rescue team is going to try and do all that in just 30 hours. The massive operation has taken years of intense planning, not least to make sure Little White and Little Grey are ready for the wild. To survive not only the massive journey, but also the new experience of living in the wild has taken months of acclimatization and training. Without it, they die. The team has worked to make them stronger, to deal with currents, to hold their breath for longer, and fattened them up so they can cope with the freezing cold water temperatures. This is just one of 5 feeds a day. It's not just the whales that have had to train. As a world first, the massive rescue team has had to work hard as well. Everyone's had to practice their every move to perfection.
Pull it this direction.
They've got to get everything absolutely right, first time.
Pull that side up quite a bit. That's far enough.
They'll only get one shot at this.
Okay, pull it. I'm gonna stay here. All right, the peckles are right here.
One of the first tasks is to get Little White and Little Grey used to being in their specially built slings.
Put your hands on the animal. Don't put them at the side, and you'll be pushing her towards the stretcher, okay? And then
Top whale trainer Tricia Kamelnick is in charge of getting them travel ready.
we introduced the stretcher by putting it in the water and reinforcing them by just coming to it. And then they start pushing the animal towards the stretcher. Okay, all right, line her up.
Everything depends on Little White and Little Grey being persuaded into their stretchers on the day.
Okay, come on in.
If either of them refuses, the move won't happen.
Okay, wait till the fluke comes up. You want to bring the fluke in area a little bit? Good recovery. Don't push too hard. Okay, good. Stop there. All right.
A good practice.
Controlled release.
But nothing can really prepare everyone for the stress of the big day.
They're living beings, and so anything can happen. You can't, I mean, it's not 100% sure. There's always something that could go wrong, but this has been very well planned. Every expert in the field has been involved, and I am very confident that this is going to be just fine. Everything's going to go just fine.
Little White and Little Grey's precise history is unclear. They were definitely very young when they were captured. And we do know that before they came to China, they were part of a Russian research project studying how whales interact with humans. Their first carer was researcher and whale trainer Natalia Cherviakova.
It's a very special thing. We could swim underwater with them, and they like it very much. And they like to let you touch them.
Natalia kept a detailed record of her time with them. Her photos and videos are a bit like the first pages in a family album. It's almost 10 years since she last saw them, but she remembers them well.
When you meet them, you start to love them, and when you have this communication to them, you understand how do they feel, how do they play, what they want. You simply cannot forget them as friends. They are simply amazing.
When the Russian project ran into financial difficulties, Little White and Little Grey, still young and less than half their current size, were taken to the park in Shanghai. They haven't swum in the ocean since. But in 3 days' time, they'll be on their way back to the sea. A huge jumbo jet, donated by Cargolux, has been specially adapted to carry them and will soon be on its way from Luxembourg to Shanghai. Everything about this project is unique, designed from scratch.
That spray bar down low is going to be in front of the whale's nose. And even if they're floating, they're going to be calm. Or we can still...
Craig Thornburn has been in charge of building the high-tech tanks that will be their first-class seats to Iceland. It's not something he's done before.
We've shifted a lot of sharks around the world. We've flown animals, 60-hour transports for sharks and all those sorts of things. But, a 1-ton cetacean in a 5-metre fiberglass and steel structure on a plane, no, haven't done that before.
They are specifically custom designed to this job for these 2 particular whales. Each whale's been assigned its own bin. And the way we want to manage them in transport means the bins have got slightly different layouts internally.
The water levels in the tanks can be adjusted.
We've got to have a small amount of water for takeoff and landing, and then a much deeper amount of water for the in-flight part.
And Craig's made each whale a spray system so they don't dry out.
Keeps them nice and wet. That gets linked up to the life support system. And then the vets can actually choose what height they want the stretchers to be.
Everything is on track. The transport tanks are ready. Little White and Little Grey have fattened up, been through strength training, and become acclimatized to their stretchers.
We will.
The team is all geared up for the big move in just 2 days' time. But then, some ominous news from Iceland. A massive storm has blown in. High winds and huge waves. The ferry that was due to take Little White and Little Grey to the island from the mainland can't get in. It's only the last 9 miles of a 6,000-mile journey, but every bit is essential. It has to be done as a whole. Once Little White and Little Grey set off, they must keep going. Any delay could be disastrous. The team needs to work quickly to salvage the operation.
Hello, Ben speaking.
Hi Ben, it's Rob.
Hi, Rob.
How you doing? I've got the team here. We're just going to go through the new logistics options, looking at the fact that the ferry's no longer an option for us next Tuesday. So guys, let's just remind ourselves where we are. We've got this project planned out, thank you very much, really detailed. So we're starting in Shangfeng Ocean World with Little White, Little Grey. We've then got a road trip to the airport, Pudong Airport. All the processes there, you've done it. It's great, fantastic. Well done. Then we've got the flight over to Iceland. That's all sorted. We've got everything in place. We then have a little road trip to a ferry to Vestmannaeyjar. Again, road trip, brilliant, thank you very much. The ferry journey, the last 9 miles, we've just heard, not possible. So we're looking at an option of flying from Keflavik into Jaime.
Instead of the ferry, they're looking for a plane to take Little White and Little Grey from the mainland airport to the island. It's got to be big enough to take the whales in their tanks, but small enough to land on the tiny airstrip.
And there's 3 routes that we're exploring at the moment. There's commercial transport people that we're looking at with a very specific type of plane. We're investigating with the MOD back in the UK, the Ministry of Defence. And there's a big NATO base right next to Keflavik Airport. So at the moment we're exploring there. So we've got 3 options we're working on. I'm not sure which way it'll go, but we've got a lot of work to do. So if we can all crack on, but keep really close in touch, we just need to get this nailed kind of within the next 36 hours.
The team work night and day to find a solution.
We do need to do some long nights, and we've had a couple of them. The military options so far are looking quite interesting.
And come up with an audacious plan to borrow a plane from the US Air Force. Optimism is high.
The options we've got, I'm confident that we can make those work. We're close, we're not quite there yet.
As the team works on a plan B, the people who will miss Little White and Little Grey the most are making their plans to say goodbye, drawing pictures to go with them to Iceland.
Bye-bye, Little White, Little Grey. I will miss you. I hope Little White and Little Grey will have a safe journey and they can make more friends. We will miss you. You are born Frida. I think you should go home. I love you so much. Goodbye. Dear Beluga, I love you very much. I hope to see you often, but I would rather not to see you because I know you want to go home, back to the beautiful sea. Little White and Little Grey, I hope you to be safe at your new home. Bye-bye. Goodbye, Little White. Goodbye, Little Grey. Please take care of them for us in Iceland.
Back at the Beluga Theatre with just hours to go, it's bad news. There isn't an available plane big enough to carry Little White and Little Grey, but small enough for the island's tiny runway. Years of planning have just gone up in smoke. To start all over again now is a massive task and a huge cost. The whole project is in jeopardy. Things continue to hang in the balance for the next 2 months. It's now mid-June in Shanghai, the hottest time of year. Not a lot has changed in Changfeng Park, despite the oppressive temperatures. But things are heating up again for the whale rescue team. Everyone is back at the Beluga Theatre, ready to start the epic move to Iceland. Little White and Little Grey's big day is finally here, again. It's raining, and it's also boiling hot. Much too hot for Little White and Little Grey. So the team prep the tanks with ice.
How much more ice are they bringing out? Just 1 more ton?
4 tons of it. It's essential to line their travel tanks with sponges to reduce the water movement. Inside, Little White and Little Grey are moving out of their primary pool into a side pool, from where they can be loaded. They've left the big pool, their home of 8 years, forever. The gate is closing for the last time, and the dive team is sealing it shut.
The whales have just been secured in the sea pool. The water is now draining. So now we're just waiting for it to go down.
Lowering the water level should make it easier for the team to get Little White and Little Grey into position. They need to stay calm, but Little White and Little Grey definitely know something's up. Their care team monitors their breath rate to assess how stressed they are. It's 6 p.m. Takeoff is less than 12 hours away. Everything must go like absolute clockwork now to make it work.
If we push and they just take off, then we need to keep them from moving far away from the stretcher.
The vets get the load team together for a briefing.
Just like this.
Yeah, like this.
Okay.
And keep away from the fluke. No, the tail
Yeah.
out. The tail, the tail.
因为太近的话，它眼睛就在侧面。
So they could flick you with a
Yeah,
tail.
and they.
Tom wants to start with the Little White, because even though she's the shyer whale with humans, she's the dominant one in their relationship.
We want her to be as still as possible. We don't want her swimming around a lot. It's going to be a lot harder to restrain her.
The theory is that if Little Grey sees her friend loaded, she'll want to follow. The team knows they have only one chance. If the whales are too nervous or too scared, then regardless of all the money, all the preparation, all the years of work, the vets will call a halt to the operation. Then that's it. Little White and Little Grey will be going nowhere. An hour in, and the operation is already behind schedule.
How far off are we? Half an hour? In theory, half an hour?
We should be working now. We're not ready. I think we're still too deep. If we were to try to go and grab them now, they could hurt themselves. They could hurt us. Okay, we really need them to be on the bottom, pretty immobile, because we could move them a lot easier. If we have to try to get a stretcher around them now to restrain them, they're going to try to get away.
The water level needs to be much lower. Little White and Little Grey have a plane to catch. The team has to make it happen, now.
So we'll put the stretcher in first, and then we'll position her.
The pectoral fin holes in the stretchers have been precisely measured and positioned for a snug fit on each whale. Little White and Little Grey are going to be in them for at least 30 hours. They must be absolutely secure. First, the team has to get Little White on her own.
Let's take away the barrier. There we go. Okay, let's get in there. Get in there, guys. Get in there. Get to this in between.
But the lifelong friends don't want to be separated.
We need to get people up to here. We need to get her. Just get in between if you can. Get her right there. Okay. Yeah. Let's just start pushing her. But yeah.
They've been side by side for 10 years.
She's going to want to get away.
Being apart is completely alien to them and very frightening.
This is what I was afraid of. Okay. That's what I mean. This is the problem. She's not going to like to be restrained.
8 years of preparation and millions of dollars have all been about the next few minutes.
When she comes around here, we're going to have to surround her, guys. We need to move in. We need people on this side. On that side, too. Let's just start pushing her. Let's start pushing her, guys.
If Little White can't be coaxed into her hammock, she can't be loaded into her tank. And the team's dreams of getting the whales to Iceland and the ocean will come crashing down.
No. That's the problem. She is so mobile. You know what I'm thinking? I'm thinking we may have to bring the stretcher to her, which means taking off everything on that side and put the stretcher under her. See, the thing is, I don't think she's going to want to go on this.
Even though the team did months of stretcher training with the whales, they weren't able to replicate the real-life situation.
She's getting there, you guys. We got to get her over the pole. She's pushing the pole.
Little White is understandably wary, but within acceptable stress limits.
Okay. She's pushing the pole. God, that's not helping us at all. If we can get her over the pole. We've got to get her pecs over the pole. There we go. Okay, guys. Okay. There we go. There you go. There you go, guys. Okay. Good, good, good. Very good. Okay. Just hold it, hold it. Okay, hold it, hold it.
After 3/4 of an hour, the team persuades Little White into her hammock.
Okay, what we have to do, we have to now position her so her pecs are in the hole. Okay.
They've still got to line up her pectoral fins with the holes.
Hold on, guys, just hold on. Not too high, guys, not too high. Okay, we've got to get her forward without getting hurt. We're gonna have to lower her so she can move.
They struggle to get Little White in position so her pecs fit comfortably through the holes.
Yeah, she's got her head just pec hole. We've got to move her this far, you guys. We need to move her this far.
As Little White struggles, Little Grey is comforted by her trainer.
Keep going. So we need to lower the stretcher. Yeah. We're gonna have to lower her so she can move.
The clock is ticking, but they can't rush.
Let's get the rope across there. Keep going. 1, 2, 3, go. Okay, then we're getting close. 1, 2, 3, go. There we go. There we go.
And she's in.
Good positioning, you guys. She looks really good. Craig, let's get her out. She's ready. It's okay.
Little White has started her epic voyage.
Yeah, we gotta go back.
So far, she seems calm and well.
Let's go a little bit forward. This way.
Vet Tom will monitor her closely for the rest of the journey.
Oh. No. We gotta go this way now. That's looking good. Okay. Well, we need to loosen this, right, so we can get it in. Want to make sure that she can breathe. It's okay, guys. She's breathing well.
Little White is safely in her container. But back in the pool, Little Grey is alone, separated from her friend for the first time in more than 8 years.
She's calling for White. So I expect them to be calling.
It's heartbreaking for the team. They've got to get Little White and Little Grey within earshot of each other as soon as possible.
Okay, loosen up. Move forward.
They're already behind schedule.
Move forward.
往前来，对，这样你们会。
And with a plane on a tight schedule, they need to load Little Grey as fast as they can. A few minutes in, and it seems to be going swimmingly. Then she starts to buck and thrash. Fearing Little Grey will hurt herself, they decide to release her.
Okay, let her go, let her go, let her go.
算了算了算了。
Trish knows things aren't going to get any easier.
If you let her go, it's going to be harder the second time.
The pool team knows they've got to make it happen. If they don't manage to load her, no one is going to be going anywhere. Next time, freedom beckons.
We're their guardians now for the next 30, 40 years, and we've got to do what's right by them.
But extreme weather,
Keep on trying, and we're going to lower the back. Okay.
unsettled whales, and throw in a global pandemic for good measure.
We cannot guarantee a 3-hour window to safely move the belugas today. Can we get Goki over here?
The greatest animal rescue of all time was never going to be easy. But no one had any idea it was going to be quite this hard.